Hey guys, welcome to On the Beat weekly podcast. On the Beat is all about giving young people a voice. We explore all the interesting topics that affect us in the world today. So come, listen, enjoy, and be inspired.
On the beat, on the beat.
Good day, everyone. This is Brent Balfour. Welcome to On the Beat podcast. Later down in the show, we're going to continue on a progressive Trinidad and Tobago part 2, right? I hope you listened to last week's episode about if Trinidad is being progressive enough for young people. However, right now we're going to start on Champions League football. We have two guests in the house. Let me introduce them, or let them introduce themselves. Let me hear you.
Boom, boom, boom. It's Terry Strutman in the studio here, man.
Ha!
Well, I don't know it's your boy Michael Trunk, it's so plain and simple.
Aye. So fellas, tell me, who you think is going to win Champions League football 2020-2021 season?
Well, for me, Michael Trunk, so I honestly believe, Barcelona haven't been performing too well in the...
You still have hopes in Barca, papi?
Why not? They have been lucky.
I think they can even make top 4 in La Liga.
Yeah.
Or they're 13th right now, you know.
The league
And they lost in the last match over the weekend there.
New season now start, there's only one.
So you think Messi is going to pull off a dream run for this Champions League?
Well, it doesn't have to be Messi alone, but maybe with the hopes of Dembele coming back within a month.
Yeah, the injury prone man. Yeah, I can understand your faith. Yeah.
Well, as you can see with the absence of Dembele with the Juventus match, you see how his presence not being there, how it affected the match. Now Messi cannot do all the job on his own.
I agree with you, know. But the thing is, Dembele have been more off the field than on the field, so how are you going to win games?
Okay, I agree, but hopefully, with the rest of upcoming young talent on this side, maybe they could pull through.
You have anybody else besides Barcelona?
Man City. Yeah,
Man City start off slow as well, you know.
Yeah,
and they get an easy side, so that's why they get pulled through.
They could always try their best. It's a side that I always had more faith in, as well as Barcelona.
Alright. Trotman, what you are there to say?
Me, I back in PSG and Barcelona to make it to the finals, you know.
PSG and Barca name are playing real good these days, right?
Yeah, performing. You gotta bring up yourself, man.
Alright. But all they are real faith in Barca, boy.
Yeah.
Oh God.
You've seen plenty underdog teams come back up, so right now they're basically like an underdog team, you know.
Barcelona underdog team. I never hear that in the same sentence before.
They've been playing kind of
guys,
days. So you know.
The Barca fans out there, all they hear that?
I got true Barca fans. I could beat you. I tell you the
underdogs.
truth. Yeah.
Underdog. The
Underdogs.
Well, let me tell you, I'm a Liverpool fan, right? And even though we have injuries, we still competing, we still dominating, we still being professional of our play.
And so they draw last game.
And see, we change up the whole side. That was a dead game basically. So
well, it's wrong now. 16 is where the real toughness starts.
Yeah, exactly. I'm hoping that we get Barcelona so we could knock Barca out and drop all their hopes very soon.
Last time was a fluke, man. This time is real.
last time all was playing better.
I agree with that, man.
New coach, new management soon.
Yeah.
New players.
New players.
Look at the likes of Ansu Fati. As soon as he comes back, hopefully he could come back before the season's done.
Yeah, but like right before the season done, which is the end of the season they're hoping for. Right? By then they done knockouts already.
How you so sure about that?
So they're hoping to face, seeing that all is a Barca fan, right? Who are they hoping to face in the round of 16? Or they could face, because all they come second in the group, so that means all they might end up facing Bayern, Liverpool. It can't face Juventus. It might face City, right? It might face PSG. Well, who all they want to face? So you might
Well-
even face Chelsea.
Well, with the hopes now of you wanting to bring us down to the ground, Liverpool,
Liverpool.
other team.
Watch. Hey, we're going to have a live segment. If that's going to happen, we're going to have a live segment here, right? Video, everything. We're watching it live right here in the studio on the beat. So, guys, I really hope that we meet up in the round of 16 or even in the later rounds to knock all it out, right? And Liverpool, we never walk alone. By the way, I have a fella in the studio who claimed to be supporting Liverpool and Barca at the same time, but I can't understand that. They can't put Liverpool and Barcelona in the same line. But
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You could always support more than one team, but favor one team more than the other.
yeah.
Like when the match comes up, I will support Barcelona, although I'm a Liverpool fan.
these modern day supporters, yeah. But we gonna leave that. We gonna leave it there, right? So, folks, stay tuned for part 2 of Trinidad being progressive for young people, right? So, fellas, we gonna link next week, right?
Yeah, man.
And I know out.
Yes, sir.
On the beat, 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 on the beat.
And in talking about evolving as a nation, let's analyze the world then, right? Compared to Trinidad and Tobago. Last week we talked about youth voices in the podcast, and we highlighted the many protests that have been going across the world, and I came across this article by Baker who talks about a new generation of leaders. And over the past year, citizens in Africa, Asia, Europe, Latin America, even North America, Middle East took to the streets to raise their voices, right? And it's against inequality, corruption, and bad governance, right? The youth at the forefront of these movements are no longer content to just pushing for change from the fringes of. Increasingly, they are taking the reins themselves, either through the democratic process or by spearheading protests that commands the world's attention. So therefore, there are countries, they are highlighting, there are countries out there like France, Ireland, Austria, Ukraine, that are turning to younger leaders and new styles of leadership. But why?
Because younger leaders are more aligned with the needs of the younger nation. Because if you take, for example, our Prime Minister is in his 70s, he knows what the things that happened in his time, and he correlates his, I would assume, not making a judgment, he assumes that he correlates his thinking about, it's not as progressive as, because he doesn't have a relationship with much younger persons in comparison to somebody who's in their 30s or in their 40s. They probably have children who in their age group, or they interact with persons in that age group due to affiliations with other persons,
Right.
and they are more aware, more conscious of the things that happen now in comparison to these things. Because I remember when I was doing curriculum studies or something, they said that the older generation are more clean to their thinking. They are not easily swayed at all. So whatever they think now, that is their thinking for life, basically. They are very, very, very hard people to persuade. So they go into the offices, these very offices that we give them, with this same mindset, and even if things can be happening in front of their face, but because they believe in this thinking, they do not want to change, because they firmly believe that this is what the country needs. And in actuality, they're just looking at theoretical things that theoretically, but in actual practice, it doesn't reflect. Because again, they're not in tune with what people need.
Yeah, one of the ministers, or I should say the mayor of Shogunas, Faiq Mohammed, who is 32 years old, maybe they are trying to get around to bringing in young people into governance or into helping change in society, maybe. But if we look at Finland, the prime minister there is 34 years old, and it's a woman. She's the youngest prime minister until being upstaged by Austria's prime minister Sebastian, right, who is 33 years old. And even there are other leaders around the world, like New Zealand prime minister 39 years old, Ukraine 35 years old, and even El Salvador president is 38 years old. So yes, they are embracing the change.
Yeah, but I don't think Trinidad and Tobago. Yes, I think that's a very good thing to have younger persons in office. But then you have to think, yes, younger persons who are educated and who have the same vision as a progressive Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah.
Because I could go up there, but I don't have the right thinking or the right mindset.
That's
I could
right.
go up with the same mentality as what these government have. And being young would not equate to any change. They have to have the right leaders there, right young leaders there, in order for change to happen.
Yeah, it's all about the mindsets,
Yeah.
and it's all about changing that culture again that the
Yeah.
young people currently has, and maybe
I think that the mindset of not everyone, but most people I've encountered, the mindset can be changed. It's not as terrible, I would assume, not as terrible as, it's not as concretized, so sometimes but it's not as concretized in like, yes, I would be open to hear what you think, and if what I have to say no longer is what you say is better than what I say, or we can move along with that.
yeah.
But I don't think
So you come into a common ground
Yeah.
in order to move forward.
I think one thing that we need to have for change is that you need to be open to different opinions, because two letters better than one head. Because I may think, okay, this is the best route to get from point A to point B, but then you show me a shortcut or alternative where I can have a great exponential growth in comparison to mine. I'd be okay, yes, we can do that. Be open to new ideas, and I think this is what this government doesn't have. They're not as open to change. I mean, they probably do it, but like it isn't reflected on the things that's happening now.
I understand. And right now, well, we could keep going on and on and talking this, right? And there are a lot of issues out there. There are a lot of ways that the system is silencing the young people, right, from rising up and from taking hold of various offices or responsibilities.
And I'm just thinking too, young people, they don't feel like educated enough.
Yes,
Good enough to go
exactly. So
and
they,
then as that old time thinking.
and somehow the older folks tend to think that they're not the young people not responsible enough. We cannot afford to give them a chance. We cannot afford to give them a voice.
I necessarily, that's like an employer wanting you to have experience when you now come out of school. They're not provided, yes, if you don't competent for the position, and teach me. They don't even want to teach you about these things. They want to oppress you so much that they even want to teach you about how to the going around of it. Why? You're gonna be there forever, you know.
And that's why a lot of young people tend to be unemployed. Not just in Trinidad, but even across the world, because unemployment across the world, including Trinidad, is like 40% of the population, basically. And yes, you are right in the aspect of people are not giving young people a chance. In the public sector, private sector, the religions, the education system, I mean everything.
They equate age with maturity. That's very far-fetched.
Yes. Well, Kia, we could continue talking, but let me bring this to an end and give some other person a chance to speak.
They have real things to speak about.
Yeah, it's a real thing to speak about, and you are welcome to come back, right? To come back to this podcast, and thank you, your listeners, for listening to today's youth voices about the progressive of Trinidad and Tobago, and even by extension the world.
Thank you for listening to On the Beat podcast. Feel free to share, follow, and subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, Facebook, and Instagram. Stay blessed, everyone.